Okay, I will call this meeting of the Historic District Commission to order at 7:01 PM, and I will seat Goodrich as a full member. Mr. Ferguson, would you read the call?
Town of Groton notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 at 7 PM at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HDC 24-0064, 3 Gravel Street, Peter Springsteel applicant. Sac Ciola owner, parking lot gate and signage, PIN number 2619184100180. And HDC 24-0065, 3F Pearl Street, Ham Bortz applicant, REBG owner, signage, PIN number 2619183170086. The Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website, meetings calendar. Applications are on file and available for public inspection online and during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 8th day of October 2024 at Groton CT. Thank you.
Thank you. I will waive the hearing procedures. If anyone wants to read them, they should be over there, but they're not. Do you have them? Well, no one's going to want to read them. If anyone does want to read them, Tim has it.
So inspired. I was waiting for it.
All right, and I will move on to public hearings. Call HTC 24-0064, 3 Gravel Street.
Okay, Peter Springsteel Architects here tonight representing Gravel Ventures LLC for 3 Gravel Street. We've been here a few times on this. In this one, we're seeking to get approval on the signage package and a electric gate for the parking lot. So 3 Gravel Street. This map here is this way. 3 Gravel Street is right here. Gravel Street, West Main Street. It's the first building in on the left as you come in off of West Main Street. This is what the house looks like today. We do get approval for facade improvements to the building that look like this one here. And we've also got the signage package imposed on that. And then there's a front elevation. So we're seeking 3 signage pieces here. One is the applied letters in the cornice over the front door. Then we have a blade sign that projects out towards Gravel Street. And then we have a logo sign, which is to be mounted on a wing wall that's already there. We've got sign dimensions. So this piece here is 3 feet by about 1'6". It's got a green background with gold highlights on it. Looks like that. And it's got a very low profile. The letter signage looks like this. It's about 8 inches tall, running across the banner there. And those are going to be a blue teal color over the white cornice piece, so it should stand out pretty well. And then this is the blade sign, a little hard to read here. but it gives the dimensions, it shows the bracket. So 1 foot radius, so that means it's 2 foot in diameter. And again, it's got the same kind of greenish background with a gold lettering and logo. So that's the signage. The other component that we're looking for here is the electric gate on this site plan here. You can see where we're proposing to put it. So a gravel street, there's an existing driveway that comes in off of gravel to a parking area in the back, and the owner's finding that people are just randomly going in there and parking. So he wants to be able to control that. We're proposing to put the gate back here. That's far enough back so that you can stack at least 1, maybe 2 cars in front of it if it's taken time to go up. And then there's a light pole right here, and then you got the shrubbery here, so it's kind of a natural spot. This is a crude little sketch showing positioning of that. So there's the light pole. And you can't see the shrubs here, but it's a natural pinch point, so it seems like the best spot to put it. And the equipment looks like that. So that's it. Happy to take your questions.
My only question was the signage. Where was this oblong one? Is it on
The wing wall.
the wing wall? Okay.
Does anyone have any issues with the 2, though it's not really like 2 hanging signs? It's like,
The one sticking off.
we had an issue with, I don't know if you were here, with some of us had an issue with
Bruce Bowles.
Boost Bulls because it had 2 exact same signs hanging. But this is 2 totally different ones, one hanging, one.
One applied to the wall.
Yeah. See them as the same situation.
I mean, again, I'd have to walk, but it seems like the blade sign is more of an advertisement, like for people driving by, where the one on the wing wall is just more of a logo for when you pull in.
I personally don't have an issue with it, but I just wanted to raise it because we raised it before.
I'll be honest, obviously I couldn't even see that
It's tough to see.
mounted one,
Yeah,
like.
if you walk by.
It just blends in with as a window, so I didn't even, that's why.
Yeah, I'm good.
Can I ask a technical question on this?
Sure.
On the arm that lifts up and down, how's that activated?
There is a reader before you get to it, I believe,
Okay,
a card reader.
okay,
That,
because typically you would pull in and you'd have driver's side access to take a ticket or activate the gate. And as you exit, you would have driver's side access to check out or do something, and that doesn't appear to have, that's only one-sided.
yeah, when you drive up, you gotta have a card reader to
Okay.
get in, but you can always get out. Once you're in, you can always get out.
Okay.
You don't need it, there'll be a sensor in there.
Is that how yours?
So it's not like for guests that are, or it's for somebody who has a parking pass for there, so it's not necessarily guests.
Guests will probably somehow be allowed in.
Okay.
I don't know.
I was just wondering if there was gonna be a component on the other side.
No,
Okay,
no.
Along Tim's question, I guess that raises a question. So let's say I'm checking in. I mean, how do we keep from blocking the street if you need a card reader to get in?
So,
Great question, not our, sorry.
so there's a card reader that'll be set up.
But he's
It
saying
doesn't-
you don't have a
Okay.
card,
Doesn't
you don't have
matter.
a card yet because you haven't checked it. That's
True.
Great question.
okay. This is the group we had at the Monuments, we had at the Mystic Museum of Art.
There's one at the Central Hall across the way too, and there's not much space between the street and it, and I can't recall how that one.
that's right, that's parallel with the edge of the sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't think there's a swiper though. I didn't notice one when I was walking by.
Maybe there's a,
Like a box
maybe if
to
you
read.
have something in a reader in your car that it picks up or something like that, like a garage door opener.
Cause like when I go into the marina, Mystic downtown, you have to reach out and like hit the card.
All right,
But when I had my place in Boston, you just drove up and it just sensed. Like you had a little thingy up.
yeah, there must be something that you put in your car. I guess with this as a hotel, people are gonna be coming and going. I'm not sure how he's gonna deal with that, but.
I was just curious if there was another component on the other side.
No, to
So
get out.
That's really,
the.
was the crux of my question, not
Okay.
the logistics of all of it.
You might also like leave it open during the day and close it at night. There's probably the problems are more at night than they are during the day.
It's all day.
Well, then never
And
mind.
it probably can be activated from like the check-in desk or whatever, with like right side the.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a remote activation.
Yeah, there'll be some technology. to
Yeah.
Deal with it. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
I'm good. You good? No. Anyone in the audience having to say in support of the application? Anyone against the application? HTC 24-0064 is closed. Excuse me, HTC 24-0065, 3F Spring Street. Yeah. Come on up. Mr. Simon.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this is Spring Street, because it's not Spring Street, it should be Pearl Street.
No.
It was corrected. So it was corrected and re-advertised. Last week, we went through this last Wednesday or Thursday. We got it into the day paper in time to make the 5-day posting deadline. So it was a mistake when it was initially.
He's never fixed it here.
It's fixed. It might not be
That
fixed
was
on
what's
yours,
there.
but
It's fixed on the application.
it's, and it's fixed though. I just printed it off the website and it's fixed there too, so.
I didn't realize that it was a mistake until I saw the agenda posted outside.
Yeah,
Fix it, it's fine. This one just still says Spring Street. That's why I read it. But
yeah, it has all been updated and it's been legally noticed within the time frame as well.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I submitted pictures of what we're doing
Once you
here.
use them.
Yes, okay, very good.
audience to see.
Good, thank you. The client is proposing to place an anchor such as this.
No.
Oh, yes,
There you go.
okay, there we go. In the space between the windows here. And there's no lettering on this. So I'm not sure if this is technically a sign. But they've asked for it. I said I would take it to HTC and see if he would approve it. The dimensions of this circle are, 5 feet. The black circle is aluminum composite material. The anchor itself is high-density urethane finished with gold.
What's the store?
Yeah, what's the point?
I frankly don't know.
Break up the monotony of between the windows.
The client did, and I can show you this, it's only on my phone. They did a similar thing. I'll put this here where that can be seen. They did a similar image on a building on the other side of the river.
Oh, they own that one?
Yeah. You know where I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
by the foundry.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't, sorry. Do you have anything else?
That's it.
I don't think it's terrible. I just don't know if it starts this whole thing of like putting up things that don't.
Well, I guess it goes back to your original question. Is it a sign?
I think it qualifies as a sign.
Okay.
Do we want to? Do we want to start allowing things that don't really do anything?
My question is like, since he's got one.
Nothing against the sign.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
This is not a reflection upon you
Yeah.
in
Nope,
any way. shape.
not at all.
This is
And
a bigger
and
discussion.
frankly, don't fully understand why he wants to do this, but he's asked me to bring it to you. He's paid me to be here, so here I am. Oh, this,
Yeah, that's what we're looking at.
yeah,
So
this is with it superimposed.
maybe I should know the answer to this, but if somebody wanted to do this on their own personal private home, would they have to come before us?
Could they do it? What is it?
I don't know.
This isn't
It's a-
that,
like a deck, I guess it would be like a considered
A
decorative trim work.
a decorative element.
Yeah, a decorative building
And
element.
and that's how I don't see it
Yeah.
as a sign, I see it as a decorative.
like, this one's not terrible, but what if someone did something? Like, what if people started really? I don't know.
I know, I understand where you're going. People could be doing, you know,
What if you just had like beer bottles?
large carvings of a, you know, Captain Morgan ship or something, you know, I don't know. Whatever.
No, but what if every bar did like some giant beer bottle cart? You'd be busy, but.
Oh, yeah, again,
I don't know. I mean, I think if it's a commercial building, you qualify as a sign more than decorative millwork, but now we're
Well-
going on a rabbit hole. What's a sign? What's not? I mean, that's,
Well, but it also kind of like when people do shingles on the houses, have you ever seen they do the design?
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
I mean, it can look really great. It can look also really terrible. I'd love to continue it and have a discussion separately.
That would probably be the thing to do. If there's nothing else,
'cause
under
I-
public hearing, have a discussion under a motion.
Yeah.
And maybe do it next time when we can actually like just look through the rules again. I don't remember. I don't think it's the worst. I just think it's kind of weird and it might start a.
Well, it's the concept that we're talking about, not
Yeah.
the sign, so.
well, I think either don't, we gotta look at the rule book and see what,
I
Yeah,
I
think
warned my client that I said, this is going to be an odd thing. And I cannot tell you, I mean, if it was a sign, if it's signage, I know what you guys like. I've been here before
Yeah.
many times. And we'll probably be here again before long, because I've got other projects in the works, but as far as this is concerned, you know,
I would,
Do you mind if we continue it?
it's entirely in your court.
I
Okay.
think it's worth continuing, just so we get it right.
I agree.
It takes deeper discussion.
Yeah.
Just because of the concept. Okay. Do you want to just say, well, you want to just say you're going to continue it?
Yeah.
Well, you can do it.
Oh,
It's
it's
the easiest
It's
way.
easier that.
Okay, so this will be continued at the next meeting?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
and then we can look into it a little more and
Okay,
come back and have a discussion.
sure. Not a problem.
Thank you. Okay, so HTC
I,
20.
I frankly wasn't sure how this was going to be handled.
Mm.
So I'm not at all.
Yeah.
surprised. But thank you.
I mean, I suppose if it said 3F Pearl Street, like it'd be different. It's just, it doesn't. We'll talk about it next time. I appreciate it. Thank you, though.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Have a good night.
Okay, HTC 24-0065 is continued. I will move on to consideration of public hearings. HTC 24-0064, this is the signage on 3 Gravel Street and the parking lot gate. Any comments or motions?
The only thing I forgot to ask, and it might be too late, what does the gate look like?
It's in there.
It's in the picture. The photograph, not the red lines that were drawn in.
It's black and white, the stripes.
I make a motion to approve. I think it's fine. Unless anybody's got any comments.
I'll second. Goodman, second. All in favor?
Goodrich, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Keatsman, I.
Okay, HTC 24-0064 is approved.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pre-application review. Hello.
Now you know the rules, so expect perfection, A+ work.
All right. I am Kirsten Peck. I'm the owner of 50 West Mystic Avenue. I'm here to discuss my driveway. So about 2 years ago, I was here for a shingling and driveway paving project. The shingling was approved. The driveway paving, which is what I had asked for at the time, was not approved. There was discussion that there was too much asphalt for a historic home. And so in the end, I just withdrew the application for the driveway piece. 2 years later, I still would like to have my driveway paved. I've done a little more digging in relationship to getting the driveway paved. So I wanted to just talk this through. So that's why I'm doing a pre-hearing. Okay. So on the GIS map for my house, it does have my home as having pavement, even though there is currently stone. So when I purchased the house, it's been like 9.5 years. Has never been pavement since I've owned the home. But the GIS map has my house as having pavement. So I have the map with me if you guys want.
You want to do pavement?
Yes, I'd like to do asphalt.
Okay.
So
I think the discussion, if I remember correctly, it wasn't so much like you absolutely can't do pavement. It was just that we were trying to, I think, suggest that you did oil and stone, which was like asphalt with gravel on top of it.
right, and
But-
that is like $35,000 for my driveway. So I'm not gonna do that.
Who quoted you that?
Whoever I
Okay,
used at the time.
but asphalt's not allowed. So if you really absolutely want to do asphalt, I'm pretty sure you can do asphalt. I think the discussion was just trying to persuade you to keep gravel.
Okay, I think I might have remembered it differently, but if I'm hearing everybody
Let me just
correctly,
double check.
then asphalt would be considered.
I mean, people have asphalt driveways everywhere.
Yes,
$35,000. That's crazy.
I mean, frankly, it's not like you don't have a huge parking lot across the street from you that's all asphalt. So,
that is true. That is very true.
so it's not like you're
Yeah.
gonna stick out like a sore thumb or anything.
Yeah, and my neighbor around the corner, which pretty much has the same acreage, they have 2 paved driveways that are just on the other side of the triangle.
Yeah, I think I told you what it said, which was both asphalt and concrete may be acceptable as appropriate paving
Okay.
materials, but the use of more textured paving materials is encouraged.
Okay. All right, that's great. So I will, is there anything else that I should have for the hearing in 2 weeks then?
You probably want to do an outline of your plot, where you intend to pave. for clarity,
Okay.
I would say.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that would probably, unless the board has something else, that's what I would recommend, just for clarity.
The only
Okay.
issue we've really had over the last couple of years has always just been width. It's never been. It's just people trying to expand it into like parking areas.
Right, and it's usually
Mhm,
increasing the
okay.
curb cut.
Right, the curb cuts the
Yeah,
issue, not
that's
the
where
inside.
I've seen you guys take action on, is widening the curb cuts at sidewalks and things like that. And that's not really
Are you
applicable to her. She's
paving
not
what's already there,
widening
Kirsten?
anything or
Right.
anything.
Whatever the driveway width is now, and it got, because of the changes to the retaining wall, that kind of widened the drivable area to the driveway, but it was always dirt.
But the
It's kinda
curb cut's
hard to-
staying the same.
It's all staying the same.
There's a couple hokey apron repairs that I think maybe the town did at one time too, to try to deflect
Yes.
some water that really should be addressed.
I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I know the issue that I've always specifically had is people trying to take what's been like single lane driveways and turn them into parking lots for
Right.
For Airbnbs.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Where you're gonna cram 6 cars in there
Right.
and it's overflowing on
That is
neighbors.
Right.
not
Yeah.
happening.
No.
But yeah, I understand that that
But
has
that
been
was-
happening.
Yeah, but driveways,
1 and 2 family, what is it, 11 feet or,
11 feet's the max.
yeah.
The driveway is wider than 11 feet, which
But
is
it's an
why
existing driveway, you're not creating a new one.
No.
right?
we would just follow the same.
Just,
footprint, yeah.
just submit an application, just show the width of it and just show that it's the same footprint.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay,
So,
that's great.
Yeah.
All right, then.
I mean, again, it would be great if you did oil and stone, but $35,000.
It would be great. That just seems like I could spend money differently, that $35,000.
Yeah.
Like on a good vacation, not a driveway, but,
Mine was like 4, that's why.
Hmm.
But again, it's your house.
okay,
So,
all right. Well, thanks, gentlemen. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
it's 3 weeks.
3 weeks,
Oh,
actually,
3 weeks.
because the Tuesdays are weird this month.
It's an extra.
All right. thank
November
you.
5.
Thank you.
Bye, Kirsten.
Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
thank you.
Yeah,
The other thing that's terrible about oil and stone is if you have these ironclad shoes, they stick in the bottom of it and track it inside. So you get these little pebbles that are all over the house and the dog eats them and then just suck it up with a vacuum. Okay, any public communications? I did have a discussion with. I'm blanking on their names. Mary, sorry,
oh, Mary Dunn.
Mary Dunn and
Stacy Vero.
thank you,
Yep.
Stacy Vero. With the state and SHPO in regards to the process and everything that we had asked about prior to writing the letter. So I had a conversation with them. They were gonna look into it and get back to me.
So regarding bank.
Just everything in general. What our rights are, what our rights aren't, what we're supposed to be doing, what we're not supposed to be doing, and also specifically relating to that piece. So I don't know enough about this and I don't have the resources to dive into the state statute and laws with enough certainty to provide the true analysis.
So I've also had a similar discussion, same people. There is a state statute. And I printed it out and sorry, my color printer wasn't working. Highlighted, that is very clear. Supposedly there's also precedent on this. That we as a commission do have the right to institute action in Superior Court. And we don't have necessarily means that's. For example, the town manager can say, no, that's our right as a commission if we want to institute it.
Which was the same feedback they provided and the feedback I provided to the town and to Rich Cody with regards to the question that was raised by the comment that I didn't see on the revisions that you had raised, Tim, last time that I then read.
Mhm.
And at this point too, I have sent everything to Rich Cody for responses. I have not received any responses from anyone on staff or Rich or.
I talked to John about it today. He gave Rich a poke, find out where we're at with it.
Okay,
So hopefully we'll be hearing something soon on.
but just to be clear, I haven't got anything back regarding the comments or the email regarding the specific comment that I didn't see. Like I haven't heard anything. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. No, I haven't gotten anything either.
So. Well, we'll get to old business, and then we can help on that. Any other public communications?
No.
Any approval of the minutes from September 17th or October 1st.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting on September 17.
I only have October 15th minutes.
They're
I think that's because September 17th was the last meeting and we continued them.
September 17th
Oh,
in the
yeah.
online packet. It's just not in the.
Not, I just have nothing to sign, that's why.
You don't?
I have October 15th. I'm sorry, October 1st,
First, yeah.
but not
Got
September.
those to approve too.
So, there's a motion to approve the September 17th minutes. Is there a second?
Ferguson second.
Like, all in favor?
I wasn't here, so I'm gonna abstain. Goodrich,
I wasn't here either, but if I abstain, then we can't vote.
oh, that's right, because
Okay,
there's,
can wait till next time.
You'll have to. You know, you can.
You
I
don't,
actually-
you don't have to, you
here,
don't
so-
have to be there. for the-
Goodrich will Mendez vote aye.
That's true. You don't have to be there as
Yeah.
long as you
As long
have
as Ted thinks they're good. then
made
we're good.
yourself
Can look at
aware
that.
of this, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll modify, I approve, aye.
Okay, you're saying they're fine, so I'll also agree. And yes. I'm reading them now, so.
And I just usually don't if I'm not here, but you're right, it creates a problem.
Ferguson, aye.
Eastman, aye.
Okay, so the minutes from September 17th are approved. The minutes from October 1st,
I move to approve the minutes from October 1st.
that is the last meeting. Those I reviewed, so yes, I'll second your motion. All in favor?
Goodrich, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Ferguson, aye.
Eastman, aye.
Okay, so the October 1st minutes were approved. So old business. Is there anything on Ashby Street?
One,
Yeah.
there's John sent me a notice, I don't know, a week or so ago. On a weekend that.
Sorry, I apologize.
They
What I
were,
noticed.
they started putting windows back in again. So I went there, was it first thing Tuesday morning, week after the holiday? Oh, no, that was Monday, last Monday morning, and I put a stop work order on it. And, sent out notices, so. Typically, that's the process, we send out a notice, if we don't hear anything, the attorney wants us to send out a second notice, and then he'll get involved. But drive by, the posting was on the.
Apologize for the weekend email, by the way.
And just as a matter of course, I didn't mean to ignore you, but I'm not gonna engage in one-on-one
Okay,
emails with members. You wanna funnel it through Eric and have it with me, there's a number of reasons why we shouldn't do that.
perfect. I'll do that from now on, and I'll try and minimize the weekend ones.
Very respectfully, but since you're the only one that actually sends these things in, if he sends it to me, do you want me to just forward it to you?
Yeah, that's fine. But there's reasons why I probably should not be engaging one-on-one
That's,
with an
that's
individual
fine.
member, yeah.
Totally makes sense.
But if the chairman knows about it, then that's
Okay, so if
that's a
anyone,
different approach,
if anyone has anything, including on a weekend, they forward it to me, I just forward it to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
But you don't need me to rewrite it.
No,
Okay.
just as long as you're on the email chain, correct?
And should I address it to him solely or to him and you when I send it to him? Like, Eric, please send it to him, or just Eric, I noticed this. What's the proper form? Or does it not matter?
I just think if you were to describe your concern.
Perfect.
I think you have to direct it, you describe your concern in regards to whatever it relates to.
Perfect.
No, but, just to make it, I'm trying to make this easier for you. So
Yeah.
he emailed you, but he CC'd me. Do you want him to just email?
I didn't,
me?
did you CC?
Yeah, I CC him
Oh,
on
didn't
everything
see-
I
didn't
send
know that
you.
You had CC?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
Out of respect,
didn't
I always
catch that.
CC
All I
him.
saw was your name up top. When I got, it
Yeah.
probably came through on my phone.
But if there is anything, do you want them to just email me and then I email
That probably
you?
should be, yeah, it probably should come, this,
Okay.
our the communications probably should be between me and
Okay,
you.
so if there's anything else going forward, just email me and then I'll forward it to him and act as the liaison.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you comfortable enough that they're gonna
Schedule.
do anything?
Do anything as far as, application?
Yeah,
No,
okay.
not at this point.
So,
I'm just moving ahead with the channels.
but based on that, should we just refer it to the attorney?
He's going to recommend the typical process. First notice, second notice, and then action. That's. If it was something that was much more egregious, he might step in on it, but not for something like this. This is kind of standard.
So
Okay.
can I ask a hypothetical question? Let's say, for example, I had a house in the historic district and I put windows in. And you issued me a stop order and I just kept going. What's the remedy, or is there one, or? I mean,
Well,
do we
if
still
you-
follow the channels, or is there a different I'm just trying to understand the process.
So it would end up, we'd issue a stop work order, send a notice. You know, you have to comply within 15 days, blah, blah, blah. If you didn't do it, we'd send a second notice. If you didn't do it, we forward it to Rich and he'd look at the circumstance. And make a determination as to if any other notification needed to be required. And then he would get involved in whatever route they wanted to take it from there.
Okay.
And just relating to them, did you remember how they came in here to ask?
Yeah, I just thought it was odd that they just disappeared and never
No,
even,
did you give them a stop work order the first time?
I stopped and I told the workers to stop.
Right.
So it
And
wasn't
they,
like,
they did,
So,
they
but
stopped,
it's
and I told them to come in and get applications, they had to come in and get applications, so I never formally posted it, I just kind of did a verbal.
Okay.
And they complied under a verbal circumstance. But then after going through their application process like they did and. You know, whatever, however that ended up, then they just disappeared and then it reactivated the activity.
okay, all right. So it's not like you gave them a stop work order, they did it, and then we gave them another stop work.
No, no,
Right.
no.
One
I mean,
One
I
was
stopped them
one was a
verbally the first
verbal
time,
and not
which is
official.
kind of a typical approach. If we, if we can make communication with somebody and we get them to comply, that's great. That's our first step. If it falls apart after that, then our next step is actually notice with timeline and, the formal letters. Let us go out certified, let us go out snail mail. Both methods.
Yeah, because I don't think this is appropriate in like scenarios like that.
No.
Because it's not just some windows. It's not like they're tearing the house down.
Mm.
Where you gotta get an injunction.
Right,
Yeah. I mean, I guess in theory, if they don't remove them eventually, then you could do,
we could recommend a remedy to court and court could uphold it. If it gets that far.
you can't, we have to. But we have to get there first.
Mm.
But it's better for you to just try to. I'm saying this, I think it's better for you to try
So I
to,
don't know, if you read down further, I think. It's me that has to,
Shall be enforced by the zoning enforcement.
Right.
officer Or building inspector.
I'm the one. Is required in writing the remedy, any condition found to exist, they're in a violation of rules and regulations, and orders made under the authority of said sections. So you guys say what it should be, and when it's not, then it comes to us
well, I think.
to create a remedy. That's,
I think it said, I thought the way it read was,
I don't think it reads that. We shall,
you don't.
either
have to.
me or Tom
No,
have to do the order. I think if an order is going to be done, it has to be done by me or Tom. Not anybody else.
if any provision of the pardon or any action taken or ruling made by the Historic District Commission pursuant to the provisions of said sections. Or any regulation or ordinance adopted under said sections has been violated. The commission may, so it gives the commission the ability to choose if they want to or
Mhm.
not. In addition to other remedies, which would arguably be yours. Not arguably, it probably is yours. Institute an action in Superior Court for the judicial district wherein such violation exists. Where court shall have jurisdiction to restrain such violations and to issue orders directing the violation be corrected or removed, so. The commission is the one that can make the decision to send it to court. In addition to other remedies which you might, staff or the town might do. Should,
Feature and recognize violation means any
Should-
violation ordinance adopted under said sections are substantial.
such order may direct the
Violation of
removal of any
subsections.
building, structure, or exterior architectural features. Erected in violation of said sections or by any bylaw or ordinance adopted under said sections or substantial, then it goes on. Under said section, so that's what the court can do. Regulations and orders of the commission issued pursuant to said sections. Or
So
to
that's
any-
your decision on what you decide things should be.
Yep, or to any regulations or ordinances adopted under said sections. Shall be enforced by the zoning enforcement officer or building inspector or by such other persons. As may be designated by the ordinance or,
So stop there. That dictates who does it. Not that we have to do it,
right,
but that dictates who does it.
right, I'm saying, right, I agree with you with that.
Yeah.
So regulations, orders of six, okay, so we make the regulations and the orders. Yeah, but it says shall be enforced by the zoning enforcement officer.
Right, by the zoning enforcement officer or building inspector, or by such other person that may be designated by ordinance. So those are the people that are gonna do it. Those are the people that shall do it. It can't be the town manager, it can't be the commissioner or the chairman of the zoning board. It shall be one of those two people or somebody else who's authorized to do it.
Yeah, you have to be the ones to enforce it, yeah. But the decision to go to court isn't with you all. The decision to go to
It's
court is
with
the
us.
commission.
I think it would be probably with either with you guys, with the town manager's approval to move forward on it. But I don't know under the town charter if it would exclusively be yours. That's something Rich is gonna have to
Well,
speak to.
the town charter can't circumvent
State
state law,
law.
I understand that.
just like the state can't circumvent federal law. So if the town charter restricted what the state law is, it couldn't restrict it. Well, it could restrict it further, but it couldn't.
Override it.
Yeah. God, this is going back to like first year of law school.
Oh, that's the exact paragraph that Rich. That you commented on that you couldn't find last time, so.
Right, he wanted this put into the thing in place, but what his issues were, which I agreed with, was that we were trying to require you to do it. And we were trying to require you within you or whoever, Tom, whoever it is, in a specific time frame. He's correct, I think, that we don't have the authority as the commission to tell you how to do your job.
Correct.
But you have the obligation under the state statute to follow and enforce whatever regulations and
And
ordinances.
if you read on it, it's really whatever, it boils down to what I consider an acceptable remedy, if you look at toward the end. Right, if you look at the last. Within the regular or made under the authority of said sections or any regulation, where was it, police premises to require in writing the remedy of any condition found to exist therein. So it's the building official or zoning enforcement officer. Who create the remedy.
Shall be enforced by the zoning enforcement officer, BO or BI, whatever, who may be authorized to inspect, examine structure, or require in writing the remedying of any condition found to exist therein. Right, you have to require that it be fixed. It gives you the authority to inspect, examine.
Of any condition found to exist, so it's really by us, what we determine is or isn't a violation, correct?
No, it's the commission, but you
Right.
just. You have to, this whole sentence starts with regulations and orders of the commission issued. Pursuant to said sections. Shall be enforced, so you have to enforce it. By the three people that have the right to enforce it in the town. As may be designated by ordinance, or. Who may be authorized. To inspect and examine any building, structure, place, or premise, and require in writing. The remedying of any condition found to exist therein. It doesn't give discretion, though. It says you just have to remedy it. So that it follows the rules and orders of the commission. But the commission creates the order.
Ask a question?
Yeah.
What does institute an action in the Superior Court mean?
That would be a file complaint.
Then what happens?
The court would issue, almost always the court issues an injunction or would take it up on the merits. If it's something like a demolition, or if it's like in planning and zoning, if the property's zoned for residential use and you're opening a bar, they would issue an injunction immediately to stop it. And then they might take it up.
So the institute an action that when it says the commission may. That means like one of us would go to the court and say, what would write something down, fill out a form, I mean,
We as a commission would agree to file it.
yeah, okay.
We would
But
say we
don't-
want this done.
Can't file it.
We're not attorneys.
I know, so what is instant, I'm back to, I don't understand the pragmatically.
An
what is-
attorney would have to do it.
Yeah,
We would say to the town attorney, we want X to be submitted,
and they have
Oh,
to
okay.
file it.
because they're the legal representatives of.
Yeah,
this
all right,
town.
I understand.
But no, we can't walk in and,
Okay,
but I think that's the. I think that's the worst case scenario.
yeah, I was just trying to understand.
But again, I think he needs to respond. Any other old business?
I mean, I guess to me, I think Bank and Bridge is all business. I think we still have a existing violation there. I think as a commission, we need to determine how we're going to address that.
Well, last time you wanted me to write a letter,
Right, which,
which in discussion with them, I don't have an answer back,
right,
except for the comments that they made.
right. I mean, they feel this gives us the authority to do what we feel is right.
Well, that's your call. If someone wants to make a motion, they can make a motion. But again, this is the worst case scenario, and my comments to Rich Cody were that this is not a path we want to be going down.
So. I mean, last time we brought, you don't want to talk about it, is staff's position that it's closed and it's done.
Yes.
So if you want to make a motion. Or if anyone wants to make a motion, they can make a motion to send it to Superior Court. It just has to be voted on. According to this, or
All
someone
right,
needs to.
then you know what, I'm gonna make a motion to send it to Superior Court. If staff feels there's no other avenue, then I think that's the worst case scenario. I think we're there.
Well, no, that's not the opinion of staff.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put any words in your mouth. That,
Just to clarify,
yes, sorry, I'm not.
Yeah.
I feel it's at a position where there's nothing else that can be done. And that's the situation we're in.
I would just say that. Our historic district commission is not only in Groton, but in other towns, at least. When I was doing all this, do not go to court very often,
It's exceptionally rare.
so. It is not something that I think a commission should be in the habit of doing or be doing. Frivolous. Good word choice, frivolously.
I completely agree, and I think historically, I mean, one thing that I admire about this commission is that we have varied opinions, which I think makes us a very valid or balanced commission. I think this is the one situation of my tenure that everybody's agreed on, and I think it's a violation, and we've taken every other step. And I don't think there's any more steps to take besides this, and it's not a decision I make lightly.
What do you want corrected, though?
The appropriate fence to be installed.
Is there a step between now and? Could we have a special meeting with the town attorney?
you can request it. I don't know if they'll do it. I don't know if he'll do it.
And again, not to put words in Rich's mouth, I think he's made his position clear, and if I'm incorrect, I retract that, but I think that's I don't know if having a meeting with them is gonna give us any different answer than we've already gotten.
We got answers from him, but the answers were different than what Tim even said.
Correct.
No, I mean, no one's given the clearest answer I think we've gotten respectfully is from you. But I don't know that has any. I don't know that's enough to satisfy like my belief that what they installed was wrong.
That's understandable. You guys don't have to agree with my position on it by any means. You can certainly go above me to the people that I answer to, and plead your case.
And okay, and I'll just be, you know me, I'm the most transparent. I don't see it as going above you. I don't want you to perceive.
I am fine with it. I
Yeah.
understand the process. That is the process. If you guys feel as a board you need to do that, I am flatline about it.
Okay, I don't want you to take
Nope.
it as a.
Nope.
No,
It certainly is not.
And same here, I respect everything you do.
It certainly, it certainly is not.
When I said. What I said earlier about requesting a meeting with the town attorney, that was not even on my front lobe. I just want to make sure you're clear.
Yeah, and I can't answer for that. You know, I don't know if,
No, I'm just saying that
They would
wasn't my,
entertain that
I
or
was
not.
like, oh, I'm gonna go above Tim, that, by that comment, that's all I'm trying to say.
people tell me that all the time and they do it all the time. I'm fine with it. It's part of what I do. You know, it's,
I just.
I make,
I
I
just
make
wanna-
decisions. If people don't like it, they go to the next person in line and it's usually somebody who has the authority to overturn my decision. That's the process.
I mean-
I understand it and I'm
But for me. I
I'm
was
knee
laughing
deep in the
because-
game.
How many times have you been in a situation where like, I'm calling the state building official and you're like, okay.
Yeah. If you can get through.
Yeah.
I
Let me
mean,
know
for-
how you make out.
But for me, I just wanna. I'm just gonna speak for Bill Ferguson. I'm confused by this whole process. Because. I'm confused where the fork in the road happened. From what we said. To the town attorney. I wanna have a
So-
conversation with the town attorney saying. This is where we stand. This is what we perceive to happen. Where did your interpretation fork?
So you got, like I said, you guys can certainly request that. I would not for a second stand in the way of you guys requesting that.
We can get to that after this, but
Okay.
the one comment I just want to make is that generally speaking, at least since I've been on this thing, there's been minimal amount of times that there's been violations. Minimal relative to the amount of times that people have come in and their stuff has been approved, whatever. This has been like a handful that have lingered, but for the most part, meaning staff, has worked it out. Where either like that little fence on Pearl Street was ripped out, that little random metal fence on Pearl Street, the lady finally came in.
Right. Well, I just think of
The
Roland, or no, what's that?
Yeah, I don't know whoever worked on that one, but to get the orchard people
Orchard.
around the corner from my house to work
Yeah.
that out, like
Yeah.
that all work, everything's
Right.
always generally worked itself out.
No, 99% of the time staff does a great job.
The only time that there's.
I mean, you
ever-
always do a great job. You know what I mean? You take care of it.
There's the only time there's ever been serious contention is with regards to this bank and bridge.
Right.
By a lot of people. And I think part of it is because there's just been again, before your time, but respectfully, like, I think there was some flaw in the system. Something happened. Between whatever was approved, not approved. Documents coming in, I don't remember if it was COVID, it might have been, I think it actually was, whatever, that turned it into a kerfuffle.
Well, I think I made a statement at one point in time where I don't think it was any singular person. I don't think it was any singular commissioner. I don't think it was even the commission as a whole that can pinpoint where this whole thing went off the rails. I think it was kind of like an ongoing thing.
So
But unfortunately, I do feel that it got so far off the rails that At this point, it has to ride in the dirt. And that's my position on it. I think I made it pretty clear with the email I sent.
So with that said, what I'm getting to is that I think the process that's outlined in the statute and whatever their internal processes to resolve issues has generally worked. And I think as a process that we should continue down. The question here is, do you think that this is a violation of a nature that we continue to believe so and continue to bring up to the point that we want to institute an action? That's where the decision you need to make is.
And that's
So-
why I'm not ready to make a court decision before I
You're not-
talk to.
You wouldn't be voting on making the court decision. You'd be voting on, do you believe that do you believe that what's installed there is a violation enough that you want it rectified? And the only avenue to rectify it at this point is to use this statute and send it to the court. You're not making a decision on whether the court, on what they do. You're
Right,
just
no,
saying,
we're making a decision whether we bring it to the court.
right,
And my stance is,
you gotta get to your point of voting when you vote. No, I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, yep.
He motioned.
Yeah.
There
there was
is,
no second to the motion.
yeah. I'm just trying to talk through it. I just,
Yeah,
what
no,
I'm,
and again, I'm sorry. It's-
Yeah. what I'm just particularly concerned about, and I've said this, is I just don't want this thing to get. We leave, we get off this thing and someone down the road starts using this in some.
Some very, heavy-handed fashion.
So, but that being said, I will second your motion
What's the motion?
to institute an action in Superior Court. To correct the violation at. Bank Bridge.
What violations is being
Offense.
corrected?
The fence.
You're gonna, how detailed are you gonna make the motion in terms of what we're asking for?
I think that's as detailed as it should be at this point.
That's as detailed as it should be.
don't know,
Correct the
really.
fence.
No.
Then the question is, what's wrong with the fence?
I would say then to have the fence corrected as it was outlined in the plans,
To the detail that was in the
to
original.
the detail that was in the original plans presented.
I understand that. That means it changes the height of the fence back down to 30 inches.
$36 was
It was
supposed.
36, I suppose, the original plans.
I don't think anyone's ever argued specifically so much about the decorative detail of the fence. I think the argument has been a fence is a fence. As
The
we consider.
sloppiness of the installation.
With no posts.
No posts, yeah.
Panel. It's something to barricade people, not something that's like a garden. Like if
Yeah,
If
I
that-
understand. I
in my, as we're continuing to talk through this, in my opinion, I think that if that was installed in a garden, I wouldn't take issue to someone installing it. I wouldn't say you installed a fence that you weren't supposed to install. I would say that's a garden detail. Because I've seen those things, people stick them in, and
Right.
whatever.
I have one. Keep
Yeah.
the rabbits up.
It's like kind of just part of whatever. I think the point is what we
Well-
expected, or what was reasonably shown in that detail was that. 90 degrees to the ground. Some rigid nature of it. Correctly returning, the plans show gates.
Right.
On the site plan that was approved. I think the expectation was that that's what we wanted what was on those.
Yeah.
Now, if he wants to come back and modify that and submit something that's similar to that, remove the gates, adjust the height, adjust the post sizes, give some different decorative details, that's a possibility, but I know you had said that he came back, but he came back with something that was just the same stuff, just basically same exact thing, just 6 inches taller or whatever, which didn't satisfy the concerns of the commission. So,
Sounds like we're debating without a motion exactly, or I haven't got the motion clear.
Yeah, so my motion is Would you like me to restate the motion?
Well,
I just want to make sure I get it clear.
he's right though, because the motion needs to have some
I mean, it's-
specificity.
it's
otherwise
Right.
we're just gonna be going in circles.
Yeah, to install the fence that was set out in the original plans, presented to the commission
Presented and approved.
and approved by this commission.
But it's been unapproved by planning and zoning, so they can't do that.
No, the original plans showed the fence height at 36 inches and they showed gates and they showed a return to the building and they showed the posts on the details and everything. That was in the original plans.
Oh, okay.
He went and installed like a 24-inch fence, 30-inch fence, whatever it was. Planning and zoning was like, you can't have that, you have to have 36 inches. That's a liquor code thing plus
Mhm.
planning and zoning. So he went back out and bought the same. So he bought the same decorative stuff, put that on the outside, then took this stuff and put it on the inside. So adding like a whole nother layer of, again, I don't even consider it fence, but if you want to consider it fence, then he added a whole nother fence on the inside, which was never approved. But on the outside, he's still got the decorative stuff, but it's just bigger. You know?
So I remember seeing the fence on the original plans and I just assumed it had posts and stuff in it. Is that what the
Which it
specs
shows
said?
it on the.
Yeah, it shows posts.
They had specified posts on their original plan. I just saw the fence. Here's what I have three problems with this topic. I'll just share with you. They're all just my own problems.
Sure.
Problem number one is my memory, and it could be faulty, is they showed a fence on their drawings. And I feel a little sloppy because I felt like it was on a blueprint and I thought it would be a proper fence. I didn't ask anything about the fence. So I didn't ask foundations or I didn't look at any detail of concrete or any of that kind of stuff. So I feel like I didn't do such a good job understanding the specification. In other words, it could have been, they showed something and they put in what they showed. The second, that's one problem I have, is it's not so clear to me that I wasn't doing enough diligence on their proposal. And I'm sensitive to this idea of we have to look at things, I think, when they're presented and not go, well, now that they've built it, we don't like what it looks like. So we're supposed to project what we think it's going to look like. And like, I don't like how this fence looks. Okay, I'm with you all on that. I think it doesn't look really great. But I'm supposed to be able to judge that beforehand, not after I see it and then go, oh, that doesn't look real good. So I'm a little sensitive about that. Second thing I'm sensitive about is I don't have a sense of kindness towards this applicant. And I get the feeling it's shared with some of my other commissioners. I don't want to speak for anybody, but I think we cannot be antagonistic with. In other words, we always have to be fair and calm and not get a little riled by somebody that's kind of not really following the process and not really working with us in the way and are cooperating. We're being reasonable and I don't think they're being as reasonable as they could be. And it irritates me. And I'm trying to stamp down that irritation because I don't want us to look like we're not what's the word? There's a word, there's an E word for that.
Okay.
An equanimous. No, that's not it. There's as level-headed as we could be, that we can't have emotion in it, because at the next level, the courts, the emotion is well, anyway. And the third thing I worry about is I think it's a relatively small violation. It might be correct that it's a violation, but this isn't the one that I want to hang my hat on. You know, if it gets into, say, the newspapers and stuff, that we've used up this much time of ourselves and the court and the staff and the lawyers to say, because it looks like we're holding a grudge rather than we've really got an egregious problem with this particular fence. So, and I think it's been a long, messy process, which doesn't help our case because I think it's pretty messy. I might be wrong about everything I've said. I'm just sharing how I'm feeling about it.
No,
So,
I agree.
I haven't disagreed with anything
Yeah.
you said.
I don't think that there's any animus, and I've made
agree.
that clear. that I personally don't. I don't know the person. I've never had any interaction with them. I don't think any animus. And I agree with the question that you're asking though, is this serious enough to take it? And that's what I was saying before, which is, do you really want to use this? But your motion is to correct it to the plans and specs.
Correct.
I will second the motion. I'd like to discuss that before we vote on it.
Sure.
So if you go back to the original plans, which are still available online, and that was back on 2/5/21. This was HDC 21-05. So that's the original thing. I can't share my screen with computer, but if you just want to look at this or huddle around. So this was, and then this is where we can make. We all want to. So this is the original set of plans that were submitted back on in 21. This is the paver area out front. This X line here shows the fence with a gate here. It comes around to the front, it cuts across, and it goes back to the steps with another gate there.
Yeah.
And it points to to be graded such that the sidewalk is flush with proposed pavers for outdoor seating as gates. So
At
gates,
gates.
sorry, at gates. So it shows these gates and it shows it returning. And it shows the fence, proposed fence around outdoor seating, typical, which just means normal. See detail on sheet 2 of 2. So you go to sheet 2 of 2 and here's the detail. And this shows the fence section in the middle. It says the width of the sections varies, which maybe we should have asked for more specificity on that, but fine. It shows the height at 3 feet and it shows these posts on the outside. So to me, this detail showing these little things and everything is very reminiscent of the other fences, including the one at my house that we've approved, which is that black aluminum fencing.
It's not showing foundational stuff at all. I've seen other fences that we've approved that they're showing how far the posts go in, where the cement is.
I've
all
never,
that
I've
kind of
never,
stuff.
I've never
Wow.
seen that.
Real?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen a lot. I've seen it because of our, our controversial fence. I got. very into looking
Well,
at
I will
fence
tell you
detail.
that normally on any fence installation that I've ever done as a contractor,
Yeah,
I've never installed a fence, but any of the subcontractors or any of the planning and zoning meetings I've ever been to or anything, never show any detail regarding how the fence
The foot
is, the footings or how it's
Yeah,
attached.
okay.
And
It shows the posts,
Yeah.
but
if I may,
Yeah.
logic would dictate if you have a gate. You
Yeah, no,
have to
I
have some
understand.
type of rigidity because you can't just have a gate on.
Right.
Right.
So this is where the rub is. This is what we were presented. This is what we voted on. This is what we approved.
Mhm.
Something else was installed. And it was the zoning official before Tim approved what was put in, even though it wasn't what we approved. And that's.
and I agree, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
But I agree with your point that is, do you really want to take this up as like the one issue? I think the thing is it sloppy enough? Because we all seem to think it looks sloppy. And it's not held together. Is it enough that, is it gonna erode the, like the historical, yeah, or the. Yeah, or even the just general characteristics or ability in the future. For us to not enforce things because they're a little different than what they should. Like, was that supposed to be installed? Were those gates supposed to be installed? I mean, my argument's yes, because that's a set of plans. And unless you want to come back in and ask for a modification or change it. You can't just have gates and then not put gates in. You can't have a fence and get some. Just throw, I just think about it, I had a fence and I was supposed to put up a privacy fence along a property line because the building was too close and per the zoning regulations, I had to have a vinyl fence or a wood fence or whatever fence down there. And I just stuck, this I think is a good example, but I just took the panels and I just stuck them or like taped them together. That would never fly. I can't imagine. Hypothetical.
Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable on,
I zip tied them to trees.
well, zip tying them to trees. I mean. I think a lot hinges on what the definition of fence is, what is proposed, the details that are proposed. I think there's just
But how do you?
And then, there's one person's idea of a fence. Without a definition to go by. Is acceptable when another person's is not.
But-
So that's,
But how does this not show a detail? That's my hang up. I'm not. I know what your opinions are and everything, and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get in a fight about it. What I just don't understand is from having submitted plans to multiple towns and even funny details relating to like compounding pharmacies. Like I've never found myself in a position where someone's like, you have wiggle room in your detail. Like ever.
And if I may too, I mean, we've been told by the town attorney on other projects, what's in that plan stands. So to me, yeah, and I'm not attacking the attorney, but it's a duplicity to now say it doesn't stand here. I mean, you say, is this issue important enough? I mean, you're talking about a prominent building on one of the most prominent sections of downtown that are viewed by almost everybody that comes to downtown. So I guess my question, if you don't think it's important enough, what is important enough?
And also, are we really imposing a cost to correct that's so extensive either? I mean, it's probably not that much to put that in.
I could be remembering incorrectly. But we offered to give the definition of offense, and we're told not to. By the town attorney. Do you remember that? That was a heated discussion up here.
And again, Bill, with all due respect, I think that's getting into the weeds of the motion. It's just, do we think it's at this point, and do we think the issue is important enough to take it to that step?
It's not even. There was an issue regarding defining something, but there was no need to define it because. It wasn't gonna do any good to define it. There was other reasons why defining that specific thing didn't make any sense, but the question is does what's out there, is what's out there not what was approved? That's the underlying question. So, is there any other comments?
I would like to say.
Could you read the motion one more time? I want to catch it on my piece of paper.
Yeah, my motion is to refer the matter to Superior Court to have the fence as outlined in the plans that were approved by this commission installed.
can I just ask a question? Are you requesting the town attorney referred to court? Is that what you're doing?
Go ahead.
Well, the town, according to the statute, it sounds like in the limited bit of research and the conversation with SHPA, it sounds like the town attorney or whoever is the attorney for the town doesn't have a choice but to bring it to court.
Correct.
So it's not a matter of any sort of there's not a subjective nature from anyone beyond the commission of whether it is to go or not go.
Okay, so you are ordering the town attorney to proceed with a court manner on this. Under your motion. I'm just trying to clarify because my phone's gonna start ringing tomorrow morning, questions are gonna be flying,
We are,
details.
he is suggesting that the commission institute an action which would be done through an attorney.
The motion is.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, again, we can't. I mean, I don't know that we couldn't go and file in Superior Court, but I've never filed a motion personally, so I wouldn't even know how to do it.
And I think, as the statute reads,
Close the
those,
complaint, if you file a complaint.
right, those in charge have, like we wouldn't go out and do your job, right? So I would assume that my understanding of the statute is yes, that Rich or one of the other 20 town attorneys, if Rich wasn't comfortable, would have to abide by the
comments from
Action.
from the SHPO person and the other person from the state's attorney general's office was that the commission, if the commission deems it to go to court, the town has to take it to court because the commission made the choice to take it that.
correct.
So I have another suggestion, I guess. Or for you to consider is, I think it's important enough to get this wording just right. And I know it's hard to, for me anyway, to create words in the moment. And I would like to see this written out before we vote on it. Maybe you want to bring it to the next meeting.
Well, I don't think we can ask anything else. Well, what,
So read
What-
back what
because I
what the
think,
motion is again then, because I want to write it down and make sure it gets exactly right. And I
Yeah,
I
so my-
think we're being quick with it, but
I don't think,
You're
I've
happy
I've
with
given
it?
it a
No,
lot
no,
of
no.
thought since last week
I think
refer matter to Superior
to
Court.
institute an
That's the
action.
motion
but
so
because
far.
we're still in discussion for a second, so just hold on. The consensus of the commission members today, plus the previous commission members, was that it never complied with the plans. We don't have any right to tell them to do anything else except
Right,
comply
correct.
with the plans or remove it. I don't, like, we can't, he would have to come back for another application to ask for something different, which I guess he could do. But we don't have the right, and what you were saying before was to go back and second guess things and say, hey, you know what, that really didn't look that good. You shouldn't have put that window there and moved it over. Like, we can't do that, and we shouldn't be able to do that, because that would be a
Right.
disaster. If boards are, and I'm talking any board was allowed to do that.
Mhm.
Imagine on a big building, like I go and I build a
Yeah, I
building, and then the
understand.
planning and zoning commission's like, you really should have put a sidewalk there. Sorry, I'm done. So I think the only thing that he can ask for, or the only thing that the motion can be made, is that they need to rectify it or complete it or install it per the plans.
And that's what I was saying, install fence as per the plans as listed on the plans and approved by this commission on,
Whatever the
Yeah.
date was.
14/21.
I think
2/5,
2/5/2021.
All right, so can you,
He just
Tell
said,
me.
it. He said it.
all right, can you repeat what you just
Yep,
said
to
then?
institute an action Superior Court to have the applicant,
Refer action?
In-
Refer,
I would say is a refer institute.
I'm sorry, start again, John.
What do you feels a better word, refer institute?
I mean, I'm gonna write it down. I want word for word written down here, so I'm
I know.
sure it's gonna take so long. But
That's
I wanna
okay.
make sure we
He's
get
he's
the
debating
words.
between the first word.
Yeah, if I
refer
want to say
or
refer or
institute.
institute, I think it would be
Statute says
institute.
institute.
Yeah, so we're gonna quote Connecticut General Statute 7-147H
That's in the
2023.
motion, or,
Yes. If you want to just read off the top of the paper I gave you,
okay, so the motion's gonna start with,
for Connecticut General Statute,
yeah,
and you
all
can,
these letters and
Yep.
stuff? For all this stuff.
Mhm. That this commission institute an action,
Oh, just per that first part, not the whole, all the rest of this.
Right.
Okay, just that. Then we're gonna jump per this, per blah, 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 that. This commission,
institute an action.
institute, did you say?
Yes,
Institute. An action,
in Superior Court
Superior Court.
for the applicant
To require the.
to require the applicant
You have to be specific.
To install the fencing.
I would say of Bank and Bridge, this is known as Bank and Bridge, right?
To
The
Superior Court to
require the applicant.
require the applicant
and then- no,
to-
At what address? At the applicant at
54 West Main Street.
Yep.
Or West Main Street.
to
Install the fencing.
Sorry, he's not the applicant anymore, so it's the owner at 54 West Main Street.
Yeah, well put. Because the application has
this
been approved, he's not an applicant
commission
anymore, he's an owner.
institute an action in Superior Court to require the
Owner.
owner at 54 West Main Street to install
Fencing
fencing
as shown.
as shown
In there, 215, that what you said?
Yeah, and the 2/5,
25.
2021
Plans
as
And
approved.
as
2,
approved,
5, 2021,
plans,
As approved.
approved COA
just as approved.
as in the 2021
Yep,
approved plan,
plans as approved.
plan as approved. Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Want to read
Okay,
that?
I will re-second your motion. All there.
Goodrich, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Ferguson abstaining.
Keatsman, no.
What does it do?
So we've had this problem before. Remember when I abstained, we had the same vote? It's not a valid vote. I'll pull it. We'll have to reintroduce it, I guess, the next meeting.
It fails. Robert's rules fails.
We had this issue last time. It supposedly actually doesn't fail.
It
for
does
Dom.
fail.
Okay, we'll look at it.
Look it
But
up.
then,
So,
then the last time we'll
It
have to
takes three-
reintroduce
it
that.
takes Three yeses to pass a motion. It says it several times in our handbook and in Robert's rules.
Okay, that's. We had that issue last time. Remember I abstained, then we had to reintroduce it.
so can I make a quick motion?
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion to invite the town attorney to have a discussion on this.
That's fine. Can we do it in an executive session?
It's probably better suited in executive sessions, talk about legal
I'm
action.
told You can, unless it is like an active case. I'd have to talk to Rich.
Because you're right, there's no privilege.
Right,
So what is it?
right,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care if it's kind of like private
right.
on a mountain.
So
I would just like.
since you have a motion on the table discussion, what if the town attorney just says he's not gonna come?
Then you can reintroduce your motion.
Would you be okay with that, Bill?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I mean, I've said before this motion that I want to
I
go
think
on that step.
Yeah,
But
no, I'm just, we're discussion, I'm
Yeah,
just asking.
yeah.
there is privilege if there's contemplation of litigation. So if the intent of the commission is to re-vote on this after further legal discussion, that may be covered. I would just check. I mean, if you make your motion and it's preferred in executive session, but fine in a special meeting, then
Yeah.
then whatever the answer is.
Right,
So-
exactly. I don't care, as I stated,
It's just executive session would, in theory, give you a little more leeway in discussing like the legal issues a little more in depth.
but I just want him to say yes. One of my points is I want him to come before us and have a discussion. So that my motion is to have a meeting with the Historic District Commission, Tim and the town attorney, all in the same room. If it's executive session, great. If it's public, great. I just want to have a meeting so that we can go forward on this topic with everybody on the same page and knowing what possible next steps could be.
Okay, I would second, I'll
I
second
don't
that,
think I have
but-
more discussion though. What if,
No, let me second,
Okay.
because then you can discuss it.
Alright.
So I'll second, is that right? Make the
yeah,
second, then
you are right, you
yeah.
have to second. it, so we can
Second, so I'll
discuss it.
second it, and then we can, this is my quick discussion though is. I think only second to Tim, I would like to be done with this too, so if the town attorney. I think we need to really discuss this thing in totality. To then be done with it, so.
That's my point.
Are you on board? If we get this meeting, we have the discussion. And we spend all the time exercising all the arguments and everything. And he still says no, are we done?
So that's why I want to dig into it. So the town attorney's Christy Kelly. You have 20 sub town attorneys, Rich Cody being one of them. You know, Eric Callahan is another town attorney that deals with land use issues. So I guess my question is, I think Rich's position is clear. So my question to you is him being one of, and I could be wrong on the number 20, I'll get the
Yeah,
town
I don't-
paperwork,
and-
that's
and
how many
I'm
there
not-
is, but.
I don't
So,
think-
I
I
mean,
don't
who do
think
we invite?
Rich
Do
is-
we
I
invite
don't
Rich?
think-
Do we invite Eric? Do we invite?
I don't think Rich's opinion was clear. I think Rich's opinion actually made it worse.
I
Because then it started
let me
getting- we got into the
rephrase.
whole-
Rich's opinion is clear. He doesn't want to take it to court. And if
Right.
I'm misstating, I'll retract my statement if Rich is, but my understanding is Rich
I
doesn't
don't-
want to take it to
I don't
court.
know that it's Rich's, I don't know that Rich said that not to take it to court. To me or to us. Rich never said that. Rich, the discussion
Like I
with
said,
Rich
my
when he
understanding
was
is-
here was relating to like the technical aspects of the plan and what was approved. He said, he made the argument that the thing was never even presented. Which I thought was absolutely crazy because it wasn't mentioned on the application, but it was in the plans. That I think is absolutely nuts. And I think Todd and I both were like, that is from practice is an absolutely asinine argument to make. Because when you submit a set of plans, you submit a set of plans. Like, what's in your plans, your details, everything, that's what you're submitting.
And we just looked at the plans. and
Right,
it's
you
there.
can't be like, no, actually, that was never even approved because it was never even mentioned in the application, like, that's crazy.
Well, then, so I guess getting back to your point, will I be done with it? I'm not gonna answer that because I don't want to go here either. I went here because I thought we had no other options. If there's another option to fix this, I want it
That's-
fixed. I'm not looking to take the guy to court. I'm
Right,
looking to get the
and
situation
That's why
fixed.
I abstained, because I want to at least explore this option.
Why don't we do this? What if we amended your motion or made another motion and we did it with them and with him and Shippo at the same time?
Well, I like that. That way we have some,
I mean, if we can get everybody in the same room.
I'm sure we can.
Be more than happy.
And then we can,
I don't,
we can put it.
as long as he's in the room.
Or shall we
sorry,
say a town attorney?
Sorry.
A town
taking
attorney.
it back. As long as a town attorney, whoever that may be, is in the room. With us.
And I would like Shippo here too. So I would be all for an amended motion that they're all in the room. So we have a balanced view.
You want me to say my motion?
Yeah, I think I wrote it down, but.
Oh, okay. No, I'm
It
just.
sounds
I'm
like
trying
it's
to
being
figure-
amended.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. Do you want me to?
Your motion was to invite the town attorney to a meeting to discuss the issue.
Well, it sort of needs,
For West Main
it
Street.
would sort of need to get answered if it was an executive session or not, because if it's a meeting with a town attorney in contemplation of litigation where there's privilege, you can't have Shippo.
Right.
So if it's an executive session, then you don't invite them. If it's not an executive session, then you do invite them. But I don't know that it really matters per se. I mean, if you've got it,
I don't think it needs to be an executive session personally.
that is probably the better option.
So, hey, I'm the biggest guy for open and transparent government. I hate executive session. On this time, I agree with them. I think
Okay.
it's probably wise if the attorney agrees with that, but I'll defer people that are wiser than me in that field.
All right, I'll make the motion to have a meeting with the town
re-
attorney only. In executive session.
The reason why he's right about that is because if you do want to discuss the process and everything else, you're just opening up.
Okay.
You're giving it. You're just kind of giving everything out there.
And I can pull
I
the
guess-
town's reasons for executive session, but I believe one of them is to discuss possible legal strategy. And I can,
And I guess my fear is that if he saw executive session, he was just in, or if the town attorney of. Choice or of whoever chooses to attend saw executive session, that would. Not scare.
no, I mean, I could be wrong. And again, I'll take my words back if I'm wrong. I think they prefer it because they can be more open. Not more open, more
It's easier,
candid.
it's much easier having a conversation with an attorney if you're in a privilege, in
Okay.
a situation of privilege than if you're not.
Okay, then. You want to add executive session to my motion?
Oh, you want to make it an executive session?
Yeah. If that's going.
Is that our
be more
decision to make an
likely-
executive session, Tim, or the attorneys?
You can request it.
Okay,
The
If it's.
the
more
business
likely-
about inviting SHPOs, we we had an amendment and
No, I'll just retract it.
No,
Or
no
whatever,
shipping.
or whatever.
all
I
right.
think if he schedules it, I think practically speaking, we'll vote on this. Well, do you want to vote on that?
But you've got a second that, so can I,
I did second.
right, so I got,
Bill
if the-
made it and Eric.
right, so I just
seconded
wanna make sure I can discuss this. What's gonna be your opinion, Bill, if the town attorney says I'm not gonna meet with you guys and,
Well, let's just vote on whether we want to do.
all right,
So, because the motions, do you want to invite him for an executive session?
Right.
and you've seconded it, Goodrich, aye.
Goodman, I.
Ferguson, I.
it. Keithman, nay.
Okay, so he's gonna be invited for an executive session. If he doesn't come, I think we need to take it up when he doesn't come.
Okay,
Exactly. But it's on record that he was invited by us to have a fruitful conversation.
fair enough, sir.
So am I requesting that meeting? Or you?
The commission is requesting it, so do you just send the message or do you send the message?
That's what he's asking. He's like-
Oh, I thought,
I don't know.
He's asking, who's the conduit to the town attorney?
I mean, you could.
I
say
can,
that the
and I'll
commission-
CC, I'll stay, I'll send an email at last night's meeting, the commission requested. By motion that, a meeting with under executive session for the purpose of. Discussing
Possible legal.
It's lit.
possible litigation,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's all true.
let's see what he says.
Yeah.
That's all I can do,
Right, no,
I'll try to draft a decent language for it.
Well, it was after a vote failed 2-1-1. Because he wants the answers,
right,
which he's entitled to, and I don't know that he's. I think you're,
Yeah.
I don't know that you're wrong. I think you're
yeah,
probably
you may
right.
be a little more
I'm not trying.
wise than I, sir.
No, and I'm not trying to be a jerk in this situation.
No, no,
I just
taking
think-
away at all.
I just think as a matter of practice, because this has gone as far as it has, we either need to take it to the final level,
Mhm.
drop it 100%, and be comfortable with the fact that we're dropping it. And whatever those
And
are,
I would feel like after that, you included, but after I had the conversation, I would be able to make the drop or carry out
Yeah.
a decision in a more thoughtful.
I think that's very fair and
but
even
I
handed.
would request and even go on to say beg that if we have this meeting with him, which I hope we do, and it comes out of the meeting that this is over, it's
It's
over.
over. No, I agree. I agree.
Because even I've been put in a unpleasant situation of just having to defend something that I'm sort of on the edge about, respectfully. So I just want to be done
No,
in one way or the other.
I mean, we finished our meeting over an hour ago. And
Yeah.
we spent past hour. My food's getting warm.
I'll eat it, that's okay, just hand it right over.
I also just want to say that I think it is to be said something that they're volunteer boards and there's power in boards, and I think the power should remain in the boards to have fair and open government, and it's a democratic process, and if you all want to vote to go some direction or do something, and we vote to do it, we do it. If we don't, we don't, and that's the process, and it should be followed, whether it's people feel strongly in one way or the other, we still have to respect the process. So, and I think we're doing that. And I also think that, to your point, that we've spent an hour discussing it. I also think just shows that there's still this questions and about
Right.
this matter particularly.
And I want closure.
But I don't think that this avenue should be used willy-nilly.
No, I agree,
100% agree.
I'm with you.
Okay. Thank you. Just on one of the new business, I guess, thing. Just take a look through the rules and stuff relating to whatever that thing is that he wants to put up on the building
Oh,
for next meeting.
the anchor.
And just think through like what that could mean also while you're
Right.
reading it. Because in my head, I have a million things running through that.
Do we have a definition of what constitutes a sign?
there's no definitions in
Of anything, no.
Wow, all right.
There's not a single definition.
I just think of all the positive things that could come out. of
I'm
that,
thinking of all the
and
negative
the
things.
negative
Me
things that could
too.
Come out of that. So if you just let. Because even the one on the other side of the river that you talked about is pretty darn ugly at the top of that building, which is also pretty ugly. So.
Right.
The building.
And my reaction to that one, I'm glad it was continued, by the way, but my reaction to that, knowing that there was another one, is like, is there a precedent?
I don't think there's anything that I can think of. Downtown, which is like a sign, which is not a sign.
I think someone's like, we put up on the standard. I'm
Put a
joking.
big anchor up there. So it's like a painting signs.
Yeah, no, we should all look at the handbook and.
The only thing actually interestingly enough that's sort of like that is on that building, actually, there's a big thing on the side that says like apartments for rent. That's been up there that it's like was never approved, but I don't know if that's a sign or not a sign either.
The sandwich board?
No,
Is
like
there a sign?
it's like above it. I
Oh.
noticed it the other day, just happened to be walking down.
I don't know.
But it's like some stuff's like you're allowed, like construction signs and things like that, you can have those things up.
Temporary sign.
Yeah, and then there's like obviously stop signs and things like that, like you don't regulate.
I mean, this guy could technically put the anchor sign up for 29 days, take it down, and then put it up for 29 days and put it down. Right?
That was kind of like those beer signs, but then there's like something in there that says no beer signs or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Liquor or whatever advertisement.
That's all I'm thinking. It's like, say it's on an anchor, but say it's like a big, big mug.
Is that a liquor sign?
Or it's like,
That's up to you guys.
And I went down a negative road, like.
look at how pineapples start showing up.
I just,
I don't know. I think you should just look into it and try to figure it out. I don't know. Just one other random old business thing, but any of the other stuff that's sort of still out there, is that just kind of working through the process?
Yeah, there's some letters that are out on some stuff and. I don't have any updates for you on any of those.
And
We're working on some stuff. We're also working on implementing our new tracking system for all these violations. And there's some processes up front that we are implementing to more closely track items that have been initiated.
I mean, the list is small.
Yeah.
It's like 44 things.
Right. I
And
don't
is
have any
this-
updates for you on anything right now.
The only other question was just the stuff at Pearl that was supposed to get done eventually.
I talked to him, yeah, I was down there. When I met Rosemary about the scaffolding out front, I talked to him. And he is aware, and he has some things in the works. And then I believe he's gonna come back at some point, I'm not 100% sure when. And request a modification on a couple items as well.
Okay. I think everything for the most part that he did
Well,
fine in the end, or well, or
He's
whatever.
got to fix that shed and finalize the paperwork for
yeah,
that.
that's not the shed with
And then the
Philip.
trash enclosure just needs to get finished.
That too, that needs to get done. That's all bonded under in zoning as well, so it's, he's got money hanging out there. He's got some pretty substantial money hanging out there, so. Yeah, it's my understanding he wants to get it done, but. He said he was gonna come back and ask for some small modifications on some things at some point, so. I'll try to follow up.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to press it.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's like the places maintain clean operation and stuff. It's not like there's garbage blowing on there or anything. It's.
No,
It's be running pretty nice ship there.
I think the goal always was to rectify
Yep.
the issues that got rectified
Yeah,
in
And
one
most of them
shot. and just be
predated
done
him.
with it.
no,
That was it. So. Okay,
so Sue just sent me a thing to, on your, and I don't know if you're off your, to adopt
The
the
new business, yeah.
meetings for next
Yeah,
year.
that's what we're doing
Okay.
next.
So I have one more old business thing. Oh, maybe it's new business.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
Oh, no, it's
I
it's
thought you
okay.
were-
I know there's still an opening for a full member, so if you can submit my application again, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, unfortunately, John was on the personal appointments committee tonight and they decided to all recuse themselves from his application, so.
Really?
it didn't go anywhere. But we're kind of out of members, we need people, so if anyone knows anyone too.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was at work at 5:30.
That's all right. It was pretty quick. Yes, if you don't mind putting it in again tomorrow, I'd appreciate it, or when you can.
Yeah, it was weird because they wouldn't let anyone speak for him, but then like when you went and spoke for Kirsten.
Hmm.
I was like, well, this is weird, and then they just all recused themselves.
Hmm.
So I was like, cool. I just wasted time taking a shower and getting ready to say my 2 cents. It's fine, because the dog and the cat were battling in the background, so it's nice.
Oh.
Do you want to adopt this?
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to accept the 2025 regular meeting schedule.
Goodrich second. Goodrich, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Pizza and I.
So those are approved. Just one final thing relating to like membership though, I still would like to get these. Regulations fixed or changed, whatever, for the final handbook thing, and then I'd like to. Resign. Or adjourn my membership.
Adjourned.
So, that does mean that someone should start. Maybe it would just be nice to start. You know, recommending it, because if Todd's out, you're gonna be down to 3 people.
And if one of us has a business meeting or something.
Or one of you conflicted for whatever reason, it's gonna stall stuff. So, I mean, I think everyone's really good at attendance for the most part, so it's not a matter of people showing up, but you know, I don't think we're ever gonna see Max ever again. So we should probably resign at this point. I will make a adjournment.
Adjourned.